The Constitution doesn't give us rights. It protects our inalienable rights. And the Sixth Amendment, it's one of the most practical boots on the ground protections that we have when the government points its finger at you. Here's what it actually says, condensed. In all criminal prosecutions, the accused has the right to a speedy and public trial by an impartial jury, to know the charges, to face witnesses, to call their own, and to have the assistance of a lawyer. It sounds simple, but every word is there because the people who wrote it knew what it was like to be dragged through a justice system that was anything but just. In England, you could be locked up without knowing the charges. You could be hauled off in the night, tried in secret, your accusers hidden from view. You could be forced to stand alone, no lawyer, no witnesses, and no hope. The framers lived through governments that used trials as weapons, so they wrote this down as a line in the sand. Speedy, because justice delayed is justice denied. Public, so the process can't be hidden in the shadows. An impartial jury, not your enemies and not your friends, but a cross-section of the people. To know the charges, no guessing game, no fishing expedition. To face witnesses, no secret informants who can destroy you without showing up. To call your own witnesses, because defense isn't just answering, it's proving. And to have a lawyer, even if you can't afford one. And that last one, that's where the story of Gideon versus Wainwright comes in. Clarence Earl Gideon was accused of breaking into a pool hall in Florida. He couldn't afford a lawyer, so he asked the court for one. The court said no, because at the time, in many states, you only got a lawyer if it was a death penalty case. So Gideon lost, and he went to prison. But from his cell, he hand wrote a petition to the Supreme Court asking for them to hear his case. Something they were not obligated to do, but they agreed. In 1963, the court ruled that the right to a lawyer isn't just for some people in some cases. It's for everyone, because without it, the rest of the amendment collapses. At his retrial with an attorney, Gideon was acquitted, not because he gamed the system, because the system finally gave him a fair fight. And here's why this matters. The Sixth Amendment is not glamorous. It's not loud. It doesn't make headlines like the First or the Second, but it is the firewall between any of us and the government that could accuse, prosecute, and punish without real proof. And in a time when court backlogs grow, when secret plea deals pressure innocent to confess, when surveillance can gather information you don't even know exists, this amendment is a quiet powerhouse. Here's the takeaway. If you care about your rights, then you care about everyone's rights in court, even the people you don't like, even the people you think are guilty. Because the moment you let the government bend the rules for them, it can bend them for you. The First Amendment is your voice. The Second Amendment is the last resort. The third keeps the soldiers out of your home. The fourth locks your privacy from search and seizure. The fifth says you don't have to help build a case against yourself. And the sixth is your defense when you're accused. Not for privilege, not for loopholes, but for justice. Because in this country, you don't stand alone. Not if we mean what we say.